Brothers is an international charity that gathers surplus needed items from various parts of the United States. We gather medical supplies from hospitals and companies, pharmaceuticals from companies, school books from publishers, and we work to put them in the hands of people who really need them and can use them. It started with my father, who was a physician, and others, mostly the medical field. They wanted to help people and they knew medicine, so they worked together to provide better health care. And better health care included immunization to prevent disease. Also began with the idea of educating people so they could do better with their own lives.
So there were three things that he invented or improved on significantly, and they were what we call now the peace gun, which was a pneumatically driven system to get vaccinations through the skin without a needle, and that was very important when you're in the bush and you can't keep things sterile. He invented what we now call the epidural, and he invented a battery-operated portable anesthesiology machine. It was about loving your brother as yourself, and he devoted his life to that. It's all about people volunteering both time and supplies to get it where it's needed in the world.
So we early on created a number of partnerships with different types of organizations. Could be church groups, could be Rotary clubs, could be some people in governments, could be even ethnic associations. Our partner agencies that we work with guide us. When we work in the Philippines, it might be with Rotary, it might be with Philippine American medical societies, might be with somebody else. They guide us to the places where people need help. We work together with hundreds of groups in the receiving countries to help thousands and millions. We are bigger than you think. The end results include the delivery of 100 million books to people who need them around the world, 50,000 schools, 17,000 tons of medical supplies and equipment to over 3,000 hospitals and clinics. What goes in the door goes out the door. We have the 4-star rating with Charity Navigator. We have 100% approval with the Better Business Bureau with their national office in Washington, D.C. area. There are hundreds of stories about us in the media over time. They've all been positive.
What we do very, very well is we get stuff where it needs to go effectively and efficiently. We get stuff that's excess in this country that would end up in a landfill to where it's desperately needed. And that's because we have board members that have spent their lives in pharmaceutical logistics and can help us make that happen. Our Virginia office allows us to do things we never could do before because now we have a presence in the nation's capital where there is unlimited opportunity for us and possibilities of connections, whether it be to the hospital system, the ambassadorial community, or whomever. My wife and I, Caroline, went to the middle of the most remote jungle in Africa, a place called the Central African Republic. And on the way there, we spent a couple days in Addis Ababa. And I spoke to Luke before we went, and he said, well, there are a couple hospitals there, and maybe you ought to just stop in and you'll begin to get a sense of what this is all about. So I went to Cure International. It's a pediatric orthopedic hospital that performs life-changing miracles every single day. The executive director there had been a financial analyst in Seattle. She was from Ethiopia, and she had spent 20 years in Seattle and decided she was going to go home and do whatever she could to help her people. She was marvelous and very interested in what we had. And so I came back, reported to Luke, and shazam, we started supporting them.
When you give a gift to Brother's Brother, it's used to help send these other gifts of things that institutions have provided to us. Essentially, most of our money goes towards the shipping of these big gifts that come out of the big institutions. That means that most of the money that people give us is used for the locomotion, for the movement of the things. It's for the processing of the things in the warehouse. It's the organization of them. It's the loading of them. It's the sending them overseas. It's sometimes the cost of the redistribution on the other end.
However you want to contribute, there's a place for you at Brothers Brother.
Visit our website, brothersbrother.org.